Can you kind of give us an overview of how the various commissions and the economists reached those numbers?
So I will start with, I am not an economist, but there are a couple of things that have been taken into consideration. And I'll speak for the San Francisco process. In our San Francisco process, we looked at things like the racial wealth gap. It also has to do with the loss of property, racial redlining and restrictive covenants that took place that kept Black San Franciscans out of opportunities to purchase or had lost their property ownership to eminent domain, as well as like systemic divestment. I know it's a big word for a lot of folks who may be watching, but it basically means when departments and agencies specifically take funds out of Black neighborhoods and communities. So the projected $5 million number speaks a lot to the value of wealth that Black Americans lost out on in San Francisco.
We should say that California's annual budget
is $300 billion.
$300 billion. And so economists thought a number like $800 billion. I'm wondering what the reaction is in San Francisco and also with Governor Newsom to the numbers that have been thrown out.
The sticker shock is real for all of us, right? And depending on which side of the conversation you're on, as a Black San Franciscan, a Black American, someone who has family members, a descendant of chattel slavery, when you think about the amount of unpaid labor, the way that systems and departments and laws were specifically restrictive to Black Americans and descendants of slavery, I think that number speaks a lot to the amount of harm that has been done to our community. As to whether or not it's realistic, which is the question that often gets asked, if we only have this amount of money, how do we compensate for this amount of money? That is a conversation for the state of California, and for San Francisco, it is a conversation for the city electeds, the board of supervisors, the mayor, folks to look at the city budget and see what they can reasonably accommodate. I think the other thing to be mindful of is that reparations is not limited to cash payment. There are other ways to repair harm through reparations. So while it could be $800 billion of worth that Black Americans who are descendants of slavery missed out on, in California, there are other ways to repair that harm. It could be through land. It could be through specific programs. It could be through cash incentive, but it's not limited to that.